And the first part of the show, I'm pleased to be joined by Dr. Vipin Garg, who is a board certified in internal medicine, pulmonary medicine, and critical care and sleep medicine. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you.
And Dr. Naveen Verma, board certified in neurology and board eligible in sleep medicine. Welcome, doctor.
Thank you.
And Mr. Michael McIntyre, director of support services at Trinitas Hospital, and most importantly, a sleep study patient. Isn't that right, Mike?
That certainly is correct.
Now, the National Sleep Foundation sponsors Sleep Awareness Month in March. We adjust our clocks for daylight savings time. And Dr. Garg, can you tell us why sleep is so important?
Well, Mayor, sleep, just like food is important for our body, for our physical needs, sleep is very important for our mental well-being in general. I think this is no-brainer that if we have good night's sleep, we feel refreshed the next day and we can carry on our activities well. But what the more information now emerging with the time is that sleep is not only important just for the general well-being, but also for our physical health as well. Just over the last, in recent years, the more and more information is evolving that sleep is very closely linked to high blood pressure, which means if we don't sleep well and we have certain sleep disorders, and number one being sleep apnea, where we have abnormal breathing or pauses in sleeping, it can lead to high blood pressure. And equally important with the high blood pressure, then it can lead to heart disease, heart failure, strokes, and recently there are many papers suggesting that there may be a link between the sleep and diabetes as well. So as you can see, many of the common diseases which there's a higher prevalence, like for example high blood pressure, the prevalence is 20%, could be very closely linked to how we sleep at night. So the sleep does affect both the mental as well as physical well-being, and this is besides the accidents on the road or just the performance at work or relationship with other individuals also affected by sleep. So as we see more and more, we realize the importance of good sleep.
Now, Dr. Verma, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates that at least 100,000 police-reported crashes and 1,500 deaths occur each year in the U.S. because of drowsy driving. How does sleep prevent these kinds of accidents?
Well, sleepiness, first of all, can contribute to accidents just as excessive speed, alcohol, aggressive driving, and actually even certain medical conditions. In 2001, at least 50% of Americans have actually reported that they drive while they're drowsy. About 19% of people have actually dozed off while driving, and actually 1% of people have actually crashed due to falling asleep while driving. Now, people are generally sleepy because either they're not having enough sleep or they have inefficient or poor sleep. Unfortunately, in our society, people are sleeping less and less every year, and this can contribute to motor vehicle accidents. But there are also many sleep conditions that result in either less sleep or inefficient sleep. These include insomnia, obstructive sleep apnea, and some other conditions such as periodic limb movement disorder. So it's very important for people to figure out whether they have a sleep condition and treat it appropriately, because it may reduce the amount of car accidents that they have.
Now, what's the average, how many hours should you get a night?
That's an excellent question, and we actually don't know the correct answer to that. It
varies.
varies.
Some nights I function real well on 4.
Exactly.
Some nights 6, some nights 8, and then maybe another night or two where I stay in bed for 10 hours.
I think on average we would expect a normal adult to sleep around 8 hours or somewhere between 7 to 8 hours.
How many normal adults do you know?
Well, well, you correctly said that it varies from person to person, and that's why we have a term, we use short sleepers and long sleepers. And what it simply means is that just like the needs vary, there are some people who can function well after 5 hours of sleep. There are some people who need like 9 hours of sleep. I think the good parameter to see in terms of the need for sleep is if you need to catch up on the sleep on the weekends or days off, which means you are not sleeping enough on the weekday. So if you, or the other way to the strict, if you need alarm to wake up, probably you did not get enough sleep.
Well, I understand also that that you can never catch up on your sleep. That was an old, is that a wives' tale from, I remember that in biology class, that once you don't sleep, you can't sort of catch up. Is that true? Or?
Well, it's partly true because if we sleep deprive ourselves, let's say for one night, and then next night we sleep more than normal, you can't entirely catch up because sleep is just not a simple like one stage of sleep. We have deep sleep, we have REM sleep, we have superficial sleep. So first night you may be able to catch up on one kind of sleep. So on average it will take 3-4 nights before you can actually catch up for one night sleep deprivation. So it's kind of important to realize, like when we curtail sleep on the like regular work day, just by sleeping longer on the weekends is just not enough, which means our functionality in the daytime in general goes down because we never catch up, because you work 5 days to try to catch up.
So how many hours you get a night?
That's a personal question. but yeah, I mean, I try my best to sleep somewhere, close to 7 hours or so.
Oh, you doctors aren't getting 7 hours sleep. Michael, you volunteered to do this, right? You have some problems sleeping, health issues, and you're going to talk about it on the show here today. What would you like to share with us about why you did this? Why did you do the sleep study?
Well, going back several years ago, I was really having a great deal of difficulty sleeping at night, and I kept waking up. And I didn't know why I was waking up. It was recommended that I get a sleep study, and I just happened to use Trinitas Hospital where I work to have a sleep study conducted. The sleep study itself was fairly innocuous, although you're spending a night away from home, under observation and being monitored in various ways. But a couple of hours into the study, the therapist came into my room and woke me up and said, "Oh, you definitely suffer from sleep apnea." I would stop breathing many times in an hour. That's when she introduced me to this little gadget here.
Oh, you brought this with you?
Yes. This is a CPAP machine. It stands for Continuous Positive Airway Pressure. And what this machine does, you basically wear this headgear over your head, and it puts a mask over your nose, and it forces air into your upper airway.
And do you wear that when you're sleeping?
Yes.
Okay. It
takes quite a bit of getting used to at first.
I was going to say, this sure can't be comfortable.
But it makes a huge difference. I would say most nights that I'm able to keep it on, because sometimes we do knock it off in our sleep. I try not to, Doc. But
I'd be throwing it off every night in my sleep.
No, but it helps you reach REM sleep, which is the rapid eye movement sleep. It's the important sleep that you need to get so that you get a full night's rest, and that is almost sufficient in terms of wanting, increasing your desire to use the mask because you are sleeping so much better.